Hello, Legacy Sabers, Marsh here. So today we're talking about the internet. Our lesson today is called Welcome to the Internet. I know it sounds kind of odd because we are using the internet to talk about the internet, but this is kind of our introductory lesson on the internet, what it's about, what it's like, kind of what questions we have, I guess, about the internet. Our essential question today is, what is the internet and how was it created? So our last unit, we learned about representing images, text, and sound digitally, but we haven't really discussed what we're going to do with that digital data. So how we see people sharing kind of data in the real world, we share it with a lot of people across the internet, right? We put our information out, we put videos out, and we want to share it with the world, and sometimes just with select individuals, depending on what you are creating. Ultimately, we use the internet to accomplish the task. Now, the internet is quite vast and it's quite large, and it has a lot of layers that have to work individually to make the internet work. Okay, so first we're going to watch a video. I'm going to stop it at 1 minute and 30 seconds. In this video, we're going to learn about the origins of the internet. Why is it created? Who was it created by? And who works through this information. They're also going to kind of discuss some of the misconceptions that people have about what the internet is and what it looks like. So we're going to jump onto YouTube, watch it, and then I'll join you back here.
What is the internet?
The internet is like a popular thing.
Some satellites up there.
I picture in my head with like waves of internet going to the phone.
Somebody told me a cloud once.
The internet is a lot like plumbing. It's always moving.
Most people don't have any idea where the internet came from, and it doesn't matter. They don't need to. It's sort of like asking who invented the ballpoint pen or the flush toilet or, the zipper. These are all things we just use every day, and we don't even think about the fact that one day somebody invented them. So the internet is just like that. Many, many years ago, in the early 1970s, my partner Bob Kahn and I began working on the design of what we now call the internet. It was a result of another experiment called the ARPANET, which stood for Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. It was a Defense Department research project. Paul Barron was trying to figure out how to build a communication system that might actually survive a nuclear attack. So he had this idea of breaking messages up into blocks and sending them as fast as possible in every possible direction through the mesh network. So we built what eventually became a nationwide experimental packet network, and it worked. Is anybody in charge of the internet?
Okay, so we're going to simulate the internet here, and I'm going to actually simulate it here. So I'm going to get onto my internet here. Oops. There. Okay, so here is my internet simulator. I've connected and with myself, and I know it looks weird. There's literally two Alicias in the same room. But what I'm going to be able to do is I can send myself information. So over here on the left, I'm going to send myself a message, and it's going to be test. Now notice what it's doing is it's giving me decimal numbers, and it's also giving me the binary for those decimal numbers. I'm going to press send. See it go through. Over here on the right, I have received my message called test. That's what it is. Now, over here, again, I can send another message. I can say, hello, world. Ta-da. I take a minute. It's quite a long message. And then over on the left, I get my hello, world. Now, over here, I do have my device. We are allowed to change from ASCII to decimal to binary. So we can make that work and change around. Maybe I don't want to see the decimal in the binary because it's just kind of, extensive. But maybe I want to see that so I can see it translated, so I can see that abstraction. So if I want to be able to take away the words or take away the abstraction, I don't have to look at the decimal in the binary. So I also have a list of my sent message log right here as well. Now, if I added another person to right now, we're just connected, right? It's a single line. You cannot add another person to this connection. So if, let's say, I wanted to talk to a third me, I don't know why I would do that, but who knows? Maybe if I wanted to talk to a third me, I would have to disconnect with the second me. And then what I would have to do is connect to the third me, discuss, disconnect, join back on. So right now, all I have the ability to do is talk to a single individual. There is one line between each individual, and you can only be connected to one person. Now you're probably thinking, well, Marsh, that's not very internet-like, right? I can talk to anybody all the time. You're right, but in some ways, this is very similar to the internet. The fact that I have to have a line of a highway of information, for lack of a better word, a wire between me and someone else. Now, it's not usually one wire. Usually it's several wires, a network of networks, right? That can connect me to someone else's information. There's obviously some limitations on this internet simulator that we have right here. So what's going to happen is throughout this unit, we're going to see this internet simulator evolve. And we're going to see it become more like the current internet that we currently have. And each time what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a new piece, a new protocol, a new layer of the internet that gives us the ability to do what we do. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint here. So we kind of talked about how it's similar to the internet, right? We're allowed to talk to other people back and forth. It is different because I'm only connected to one person. I need to be able to be connected to more than one person every time. All right, now we're going to finish the rest of our video that we began earlier. Ultimately, this part of the video, they're going to talk a little bit about who controls the internet and actually who gets to, for lack of a better word, control the data and the flow of knowledge on the internet. So let's go watch it, and then we'll jump back over here. See you in a bit.
Metal packet network, and it worked. Is anybody in charge of the internet?
The government controls it.
Elves, obviously elves.
The people who control the Wi-Fi, because then no Wi-Fi, no internet. T-Mobile, Xfinity,
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Right?
The honest answer is, well, nobody, and maybe another answer is everybody. The real answer is that the internet is made up of an incredibly large number of independently operated networks. What's interesting about the system is that it's fully distributed. There's no central control that's deciding how packets are routed or where pieces of network are built or even who interconnects with whom. These are all business decisions that are made independently by the operators. They are all motivated to assure that there is end-to-end connectivity of every part of the network, because the utility of the net is that any device can communicate with any other device, just like you want to be able to make phone calls to any other telephone in the world. There's nothing like this that has ever been built before. The idea that what you know might be useful to somebody else, or vice versa, is a very powerful motivator for sharing information. By the way, that's how science gets done. People share information. So this is an opportunity for people to think up new applications, maybe program them as apps on a mobile phone, maybe become part of the continued growth of the infrastructure of the network to bring it to people that don't have access to it yet, or just make use of it on a day-to-day basis. You can't escape from contact with the internet, so why not get to know it and use it?
Perfect. Back with you. So, the only definition that we have to get across today is internet. The internet is the network we use to access files. So it's not, you may have heard the word the World Wide Web, okay? The World Wide Web is not the internet. They are not the same. The internet is just the network we use. So that is the wires and whatnot. The World Wide Web is the files that are on the internet. So they kind of are interconnected, but not necessarily the same thing. So we do need to make sure we keep track of that when we're doing our vocabulary on this unit, because this unit is strongly wording a lot of vocab. And that is the end of this video. Nice, short, and sweet, because it being an introductory video. I will see you next time as we continue to learn more about the internet. See you later, Sabers.